I'll talk about this because I think mental health is really important. So I'm going to first and foremost, we're going to talk about the whole situation. You know, I wanted to give some extra context. First things first, going in public and talking about someone's career and saying, I don't think it's very impressive, was a dick move. 100% agreed. I was uncalled for, wasn't really necessary, and I apologize. I will, moving forward, not speak on anyone's careers. My bad. I feel that way. I genuinely don't think it was necessary. It was a bad thing to do. With that in mind, I want to clarify, because this is something that is pretty important to me. I was diagnosed with a hypomanic episode in Worlds 2024. I was not manic, I was hypomanic. And I talked to my therapist, and he helped me understand what the difference is. A lot of people think that, I have mental illness, blah, blah, blah. People threw this around, etc. So the difference between a manic episode and a hypomanic episode kind of gets explained here. We'll go through it. Mood change, abnormally elevated, expansive, or irritable mood. Similar mood change, but less severe. So this is why you saw me go on stream, and I went from crying about, how I felt about the whole Hylissang situation and the guilt I felt about that. Anyway, the reason why I want to bring in LS is because he's actually the first person that pointed it out. He was like, I think he's experiencing a manic episode. Now, it wasn't a manic episode, it was a hypomanic episode. The difference being that mania is a little bit more extreme, or like a lot more extreme than a hypomanic episode. But hey, that's why he was really involved. He really, stuck his neck out and like reached out to multiple different people to bring attention to the fact. It's why my therapist got involved in the first place, because he was like, you need to talk to, like, he went to Papa Smithy, he went to everyone in New York, went to Bowen, my therapist, and made sure that I got help. This is why after that stream I calmed down significantly. But anyway, that's why if you're wondering, why is he involved? I just wanted to make sure people knew that, because it was really nice of him, because I didn't know what was happening with myself either. For the people that are excited, no, I'm not bipolar yet. What does this mean? I don't know what the word for it is, but there's a chance I am. There's just not enough evidence to prove for a fact that I'm bipolar, okay? So, sucks to the people that wanted me to be, hey, you might be right in the future. You might be right. Who knows? Exciting, isn't it? Either way, let's talk about what's on our screen for now. But the point is, the difference between manic and hypomanic is how long it lasts, how severe it is, basically. But you see here, like, I didn't really experience psychosis. I didn't need to go to a hospital. I was sleeping about 4 hours a night for about a week straight, and I did not mind. This is when I should have realized there was something very wrong with me. Well, not very wrong, but very different. But that is kind of how it works. Inflative self-esteem or grandiosity. Yeah, if you read that, you might understand why I was telling everyone I was the fucking GOAT, and why I, had really strong opinions. It didn't give me a significant functional impairment, but, point is, I had a hypomanic episode in Worlds 2024. He diagnosed it as basically, traveling and stress can cause this. So this is something that, obviously, when you're going to Worlds, you are stressed as fuck. I was stressed as fuck because I was coming back to Europe. I obviously had a point to prove on my home soil. I was traveling as well, so the stress of traveling as well, and then obviously my personal life, whatever, like the usual, made me very stressed. So now I had a hypomanic episode. LS immediately recognized that something was wrong with me because he knows me very well, and that's very kind of him. This is not what happened with the Dhokla situation, okay? What happened with the Dhokla situation is, well, quite frankly, I gave my personal opinion on someone's career, which I should never do. And I, yet again, want to apologize. That's never something I'm going to do again. Especially not in public. I think in private, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be honest about what I think. If a GM comes to me and wants my opinion on a player, I will say what I think. But I think the public doesn't need to know what I think. And I think that it can have negative repercussions for anyone's career. I felt personally slighted because I actually didn't remember that I said this. Keep in mind, when I was streaming a lot, and to this day, if I do stream, I work usually... I have my scrims, I finish my scrims, and I eat my food, and I start my stream. So a lot of the time, when you catch me streaming, I'll have been awake for 11, 12, 13 hours, and if people rage bait me or ask me questions, I have a tendency to answer. That is something I do. So I will tend to speak my mind a bit more freely when I'm tired, because I'm just tired. I think that's what most people do. Is that a good thing? No. Was I in the wrong? Absolutely. Do I feel bad about it? Yeah, I do. I think it was not fair. That said, I do think at the end of a match, like before a match, I think it's always legal, you don't have to fist bump me. At the end of the match, I think honoring what happened on the day and shaking hands on that and showing respect to you know, everything that was left on the rift is something that you should do. It pissed me off that I didn't get my fist bump because I offered, you know, even though I got denied, I walked up to him and I did offer, and that pissed me off. But that's not the only reason, to be honest with you. I'm working with Mr. Gagos. He's a 17-year-old kid. I think he has a great future. He has a lot of potential. And if I was in the flip side of this and I got hired to coach him because he was struggling, I would never give up on the kid. I would refuse to play on the main roster, and I would find a solution for his gameplay. I wouldn't care if the team would do worse. Ultimately, that's something I stand by. I think that, I guess in a way, that from the start rubbed me very wrong in the first place. I think that the kid still has potential, and I don't know what he's struggling with. And maybe, you know, I'm going to give you the caveat here. I could be wrong in me, you know, maybe Sniper doesn't want to play. I don't know. But without information, it rubbed me the wrong way that he got replaced the way he did. Because I think that the way he played was extremely uncharacteristic and was not what he has displayed in the past, what he's capable of. So the combination of the fact that I was really fucking pissed about the fact that I didn't get my fist bump, and the fact that that rubbed me the wrong way, made me overreact, and I called him out. Also, you know, you win a finals, and you get a nice, like, a big lead, you feel like, you know, you just carried game 3, you had a very good game 4 early game, like, you were owning in lane. I did run it down in team fights, but still, I was on a pretty big high from the fact that I was owning in lane. It certainly didn't help in closing my mouth. So, summing this all up, it has nothing to do with mental illness. I do think I'm in the wrong for initially having spoken my mind publicly. The reason why I blushed out and made the tweet was because, from what I could read online, people were saying that I go through fake perseverance. Like, I pretend like I think that's important. I don't pretend. I'll tell you a little story because I've told this before on my stream, and this is not to throw a pity party. You can take it as you will, but this is why I have an extremely high standard for my own individual play and why I consider myself. I try as hard as I do. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer around the age of me being 16, and my mother supported me trying to go pro when I was not making any income and I was not working for about 2 years while undergoing treatment for her breast cancer. To this day, I will be grateful until the day I die for the fact that my mother made this sacrifice, and I will never allow myself not to be the best. I don't think 5th place is good enough. I don't think 6th place is good enough. My mother did not sacrifice what she did for me to be that. She deserves to see me be the best player in the world. And yeah, that's just me being real with you. So I don't need anyone to tell me I'm not very good at this game or whatever. I see my flaws more than anyone, and the more I see people tell me that I'm going to get shit on internationally, the funnier I think it is, because the only players that people can mention that will shit on me are quite literally the best players in the world. So, you know, if that's the caliber of player you need to take me out, I think I'm doing pretty good. That's the context. Go have fun with it. I'm not a good person. I'm not going to pretend like I am. I'm a fucking petty piece of shit. I know that. But the people I work with know I do my best. And I want us to win, and I want the fans to have a good time. And I want you guys to be able to watch us play, and I want you guys to realize pro players should be the best players in the world at the characters they play. And that's the standard I always set. I'm always going to believe that. I'm not going to comment on other people's careers anymore, obviously. I'm still going to believe that, so, hey, you don't have to ask me. You know what I think. Now you know. That's it for me. I don't think I'm better than Keen. I think he's better at the game than me. I think Zeus is better at the game than me. I think most top 3 Korean, Asian top laners are better than me. I think the list starts getting pretty short after that, though. You can disagree with me all you want. I don't mind. Here you go. Let's have a look at the top laner, shall we? Who was better than me? Wait, this is first hand? Wait, no, this is worst one. CBA. My point is there's not 8. There are not 7 players better than me in the world of top laning. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. I'm gonna go to the World Championship, and I'm gonna play my heart out, and I'm gonna do my very fucking best to prove myself more than anyone else that I am that good. Because it's a standard I've set over the course of my career. Worlds 2024, I was top 8. Worlds 2022, I do admit here, this Worlds, I was not able to make top 8. Not going to discuss the reasons why. I think anyone that watched that Worlds will know. Worlds 2019, Worlds 2018. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Worlds where I think I was confidently a top 8 top laner in the world. That's pretty good. I'd like to be better. I'd like to say I'm top 4, but unfortunately, it's pretty fucking hard to get in that group of people. They're very fucking good. you want to know here, by the way, you know, I tweeted about it, but here's the reality. This was my placement in LCL. I was 7th place. I almost got relegated, and then I joined Dark Passage. It's not even here because I didn't finish the split. I got benched. So thank you for the 50 gifted subs, man. I appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Like I said, I recognize the mistakes I made. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I didn't. I'm just giving context to the people that give a fuck. You want to call me bipolar, you can. I am not officially diagnosed about it yet. So if I have another hypomanic episode, especially if it isn't induced by travel or other stressors, then yes, I will get diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I will in fact get recommended to go on medication for it. That is not the case as of right now. So for the haters, look forward to it. I bet you can't wait to diagnose me yourselves. This is a diagnosis that a mental health professional gave me. This is his honest opinions. He gave me a lot of context on this, and I don't know. I just wanted to hop on and talk about this. I obviously did the VOD review first to try and help out a friend, so pretty chill.